Hey, what's going on? Tony from LearnAutoBodyAndPaint.com. Thanks for watching the video, and we are picking up on the Learn Auto Body and Paint Q&A. All right, so I'm on my last page. I got 2 questions left here, and what I'm gonna do later is make another video for you guys, asking you guys to comment on the blog with more questions so we could keep doing this, because a lot of people really enjoy these Q&As. All right, so I have 2 questions. The first one is from Gary. Gary says, hey Tony, my question is, when you repair and paint a fender, a door, a hood, or any body part, how do you match the paint shade with what's already on the vehicle? Meaning, the previous paint has some fade to it. All right, so this is a common question, and it's a common issue that every auto body guy probably goes through. Say you have a 1990 Honda Accord that you're working on, right? An older car, has 20 years of paint on it, and the paint's not bad, but it's faded looking, and you just repainted a hood because it was in a front, collision. All right, so the hood was replaced, painted. Now you have this beautiful looking hood, right? And because of monetary reasons, the customer or yourself didn't want to go painting the rest of the front of the car or the whole car, because of money reasons. So you basically decided just to paint that single panel. And this is what the question is asking basically. So when you have a nicely painted fender or a hood and it looks really good compared to the rest of the body panels, the only thing you could really do is give it a great buff job. All right, so you don't want to do your buff job before the paint job because of chemical reactions, right? You're gonna have compound all over the place, and it may get on your new panel. Or if you have the hood off of the car and you're doing the paint job, it's not a problem, right? If you have your fender off of it and you did your buff job, then you put it on. But if you're leaving the car, the panel's on the car, and then you paint it, right? Paint your panel first and then do your buffing job, right? Don't do your buffing job first, then mask it up and paint it. That's all I'm saying. But if you're doing it separate off the car, don't worry about the compound and stuff getting on the body panels, right? So that's what you want to do, is basically buff out your body panels, and pretty much, you can get a nice gloss out of it. If you know how to buff, you really don't have to color sand and buff, because a 20-year-old paint job is just mostly faded out, right? Hopefully it's not as bad to where the clear coat is flaking off and just faded out, right? All you gotta do is wash it down good, get some good compound, like I'm using the Auto Magic compound, and basically just buff it out. Buff it out till it gets glossy again, because it will get glossy. And I actually cover these steps in the VIP course. So if you want to see step-by-step videos on all these kinds of examples, check out the VIP course at LearnAutoBodyAndPaint.com. But that's what you usually do. My father always said, you can't make new paint look like old paint. So just remember that. You can't really make a new paint job faded looking to match the old paint job, but you could try to bring back the old paint job by buffing it out to look better so it matches. So that's what we usually do, paint the panel and buff out the rest of the car. If you don't want to paint the whole front of the car, if you paint the whole front of the car, you still have to buff out the rest of the car, the doors and the roof. But that's basically it, all right, without getting too crazy about it. Mosquito. And that's what you want to do. And again, we show examples of this in the VIP course. And the last question here is from Mr. Steve. Tony, my question is about thinners and reducers. What are the best thinners to use for regular paints, enamels, clear coats, etc.? This includes mixing ratios for primers and paints and all of that. You are so good at clearing things up and putting out real answers. I really enjoy it. Thank you, Steve. So there is no all-around reducer for everything, because with primers, sometimes they recommend you using this kind of reducer. With base coats and clear coats, they recommend you using this kind of reducer. So it really depends. But I know for a fact that for base coat and clear coat, if you stick with one brand, I use Omni, all right? It's a sub-brand of PPG. This Omni reducer that I have here will work with my base coats, my Omni base coats, my Omni clear coats. it will also work with the PPG base coats and clear coats. All right, so you could mix this with all of those brands. With Nason and DuPont, you could basically take the base maker for Nason and use that for DuPont paints and your Nason paints. All right, so all around clear coats and base coats, you could use that. For primers, I even use this if I'm using the same primer. All right, usually they don't tell you on the can to mix reducers and primers, but you can reduce it. If it's thick, use a reducer, it will not hurt it. You know, 10 to 15% is not gonna kill it. With 2K primers, it's usually a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1 mixture, depending on what paint brand you're using, and that's basically it. But if you're using a 1.4 size spray gun tip to do your all-around painting, you could use that for primer as well. And primer usually is a little thicker than regular paints. So they want you to spray at a 1.7 tip size, usually 1.8 size, so you can get the thicker material out of your spray gun. But what I usually do is, if I'm using a regular 1.4, is reduce my primer down 10-15%, then you could use a 1.3 or 1.4 spray gun tip and spray your primer out of. When you're done with that, clean the gun out good and you're good for base coat, clear coat with that same size tip. Pretty neat. So again, it's Tony from LearnAutoBodyAndPaint.com. I hope you like this quick Q&A session. If you have any more questions and comments, I'm gonna make another video like this where you can go exclusively to a blog page and put more of your comments down. This way I can get to them one by one. All right, it's Tony. Don't forget to go to the website at LearnAutoBodyAndPaint.com to get your free 85-page auto body manual. It took me 3 months to write. It's full of jam-packed content and I think you'll really like it. And we're also doing a 90-minute auto body and paint DVD. So there's tons of information on there. Just help me with shipping and tell me where to send it. You go to the website, click on free DVD, and tell us where to send it. Again, it's Tony. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you at the website. Cheers.